I'm so happy to introduce you to my beautiful friend, Icy Ling, Icy Butterfly, as is her handle on social media. Welcome to Ageless by Rescu, you ageless, gorgeous thing.
Hi everyone, I'm Icy. Thank you, Bahar, for having me.
Well, we've been talking about doing something together for, I want to say, just about a decade. I want to tell the story of when I first met you and I first saw you, because you're one of those people that really captivates. And when you walk across a room, people can't help but notice you. And I remember the first time I met you, we were catching a seaplane for a Chanel event. And we met at Rose Bay at the seaplane terminal. And I remember you were walking down
La Mer.
Was it La Mer?
Yeah, it was a
Yes,
seaplane.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a La Mer event. Anyway, so you're walking down, and I just remember thinking, who is she? And you had your signature long dark hair, you had some amazing outfit on, beautiful makeup. And I just instantly was captivated by you. And I literally haven't stopped being captivated by you. We have had so many amazing times together attending various events, some really deep conversations about life and culture and family and beauty. And so it felt remiss of me not to have you on the show, because I really would love your insight and your approach to ageless beauty. You were Beijing born. And when
Yes,
did you
I
move
was
to
born in
Australia,
Beijing.
darling?
I was here when I was 17 and just after the Olympics. And I'm 37 now. So I actually spent more time in Australia than in China, but I spent most of the teenage time in Beijing and with my mom and dad. And to be honest, when I came here, I had absolutely no idea one day I was going to join beauty industry. And Asian parents, they always wanted me to be business. And when I was at uni, I was studying business. Master degree, I was forced to study business. And now I'm in beauty. So it's life is very special, and I think I'm very grateful that I'm working in this industry. And I met you, met a lot of beautiful women inspired by the entire industry, and being able to look after myself as well.
Well, you said that you were not really destined for the industry, but I think you kind of were, because one of the things that we talked about that we had in common is we've both worked for the Estee Lauder group of companies. As you know, as I've told you before, and our audience, I used to be brand general manager for Bobbi Brown and Origins, and you used to work for Clinique.
Clinique,
So
yes.
you always had a passion for beauty.
Yes. And when I was in the university, I remember I used to collect all the fragrance bottles, and I started in Macquarie, so it's not far from Macquarie Shopping Center. So break time, I used just to go across the road and shop in Myer for foundations and mascaras. And I still kept some of my very, very original, like the first bottles of fragrance, still somewhere at home, and I never throw them away. And after graduation, I just went to the clinic counter, and I got a job there, and that's how I started. And Meyer was, when you work at the cosmetic counter, you actually meet a lot of women. We talk about beauty, and we talk about tips, makeup applications with your colleagues and with the customers. And I think that influenced me even until now. Yeah, that's very similar to you.
Definitely similar to me. I was obsessed with beauty and makeup from when I was 5. I got my first bottle of fragrance when I was 5 from my father. It was Chloe by Karl Lagerfeld. I know every single fragrance most people have worn by nose. Someone can walk past me and I can identify the notes and remember what fragrance it is. I think when you have the beauty bug, it's really in you. But what's interesting, a lot of the conversations that we've had, and the reason I really wanted to speak to you on the show, is that your culture, the Chinese culture, is so rich with an innate understanding that beauty comes from within, and you have a very rich history of what is now famously known as anti-aging or longevity, but Chinese medicine, beauty practices, you know, pre and post-birth practices that are around rejuvenation and wellness. These are often thousands of years old. And I guess that was one of the reasons that you've been so successful in your career in Australia, is that you're educating not just the local Chinese consumer and your followers, but you're also a touchstone for Australian women and consumers and brands to better understand the psyche of an Asian, or most specifically a Chinese consumer, in that you really, really respect an inside out approach to beauty. Tell me the difference between how you see your view of beauty and how, you know, Western beauty is perhaps perceived.
Well, there's a lot to talk about, but I think one thing that's very important from my perspective is self-respect, and to understand and know yourself. And I think one thing it influenced me a lot is it's actually from my mom. She when I was a kid, she always talked to me about diet, health, diet, a lot of the things that would suit me. She understands my skin, my body. Like in the Chinese medicine, there's always talk about inner heat or the cools, and she knows my body type, my skin type, and she will change the diet according to my body change or according to the season. And she encouraged me to read, to learn about all different herbs and food, vegetables, and trying to how to say, to manage to see the skin and body change. So like when I wake up, she always asks me, you should look at the mirror and find out, do you have more open pores around here? That maybe means you have too much inner heat. You should have more green vegetables and have more vitamin C. So she teaches me all of these things. So
how old were you when you first started learning these? You know, nowadays it's called performance enhancement or biohacking or, you know, rejuvenation. But how wonderful that, you know, you came from a household and you were raised by a mother who taught you to understand that your skin or your open pores is linked to your liver or your vitamin C intake. I mean, we're only just learning that now. How old were you when you started really paying attention to the way your body functions?
Um, I think it was around teenage time. She started to read Chinese medicine books, and then she will share some of the knowledge with me at dining table, and she will encourage me to eat something I didn't like eating, but she will tell me this is good for you in such way. So, and we started to have this regular conversation throughout everyday life, and I start to understand the importance of taking time to look at yourself in mirror, and after shower you will check out your skin color. Sometimes it goes gray, sometimes it goes red. Why is that? And if my lips getting dry, what had happened? Did I not drink enough water, or did I drink too much soft drinks? And a lot of things that triggers the skin change. It was since teenage time, and I breaked out around 14 to 15. I remember around that time, my mom used to wash my face with lemon water. And I didn't, as a kid, I had no idea it was so sour, and it was so
Acidic.
tingling. Yes, and but it actually cleared up my skin. It worked for me, and I learned a lesson, and I think going back to that, I was educated to be a woman that always have self-reflection time. So I think spending time in front of the mirror, check your body, check your skin, it's also a good start for us to look after our skin and even prevent for other damages, prevent for changes that will attack our skin.
You've got flawless skin, you have gorgeous hair, you are impeccably groomed. I'd like to ask you, your skincare, you and I have talked about your skincare routine, and it is quite hectic. Tell me about your personal skincare grooming and how it's changed from your 20s to now in your late 30s. What have you learned, and what do you think really, really works for you?
So I had one of those accident with my mom before I came to Australia. I was at my teenage time. I was a teenager, so she gave me a set of Japanese skincare, and it was a full set of anti-aging products she got as a gift. And she thought it would be a gift for me. So without thinking whether it suited, I think that was one of the rare mistakes she made in her life. And because it looked so beautifully packed, I used that anti-aging skincare routine, the entire routine, when I was a teenager.
Wow.
And I broke out. And so I was really afraid of using those skincare. Even I was introduced to more like designer brand, prestige brand when I was at uni. I was a bit afraid, but I had consultations at cosmetic counters, and also I read some beauty books by celebrities. So I started to understand skincare is important. So I tried to overcome that fear about getting breakout. Just talk to the consultant. I got myself a very simple routine. I started with cleanser, a moisturizer, and then I slowly added things in. And ever since I started working with Clinique, and I understand skin, understand how important exfoliate is, how important is to look after the eyes. And I just slowly introduced different products into my routine. And by the age of 28, I have a routine of more than 10 products.
Wow.
I'm not sure if you remember. I think I talked to a lot of girls at beauty events. If you remember, there was one time I had 14 steps of skincares. So I have exfoliate, I have cleanser, I have different types of serums, including eye serums, brightening serums, anti-wrinkle, and lifting serums. And that was when I was 27, 28. I already had that routine, and I have 2 moisturizers, one for the T-zone, one for the cheeks. I have neck cream, sunscreen, and it was just a lot to use. And
have you simplified it since? Because I'm getting, I'm running out of brain space just thinking about 14 different products. I guess, I'm in a different stage of life to you. I've got a daughter, I've got a business, I'm running around, but really beyond 5 steps and you've lost me. I mean, your skin looks glorious for it, but have you pared it back as you're in your 30s and you're busier, and probably products are more efficient too now, don't you think?
I think there's 2 factors that actually made me change, and I now simplified everything to a 7 steps routine. So I think that works for me now. So one factor is with the technology and innovations, products now are more multifunctional. So Definitely. I don't have to use multi-serums, one serum that can do multiple things for me. Another things I realized is sometimes when you layer too many things, it actually affects your makeup. And because your skin is so nourished and it's quite oily, and makeup doesn't stay, and sometimes they actually start peeling, and there's a lot of things that will happen afterwards, and you're actually creating troubles for for yourself, and you're making makeup applications longer and even harder. So I thought, hang on, do I really need this in the morning? Do I really need this to mix together and then start to take things out?
And tell me, when you started to take things out and you simplified your skincare routine, and also, you know, when you hit your 30s, did you start having clinical treatments as well? Do you have laser? Do you have ultrasound? Do you have, you know, any kind of injectables?
Actually, no. I think I want to be very honest. I was one of those girls. I don't want to like disencourage people to go to clinics, but I always want to be natural. I understand some injections are actually good for you when you are younger, and the earlier you have it, it could be more beneficial. But I wasn't one of those. I go to clinics, and I did have some injections over in the past 2 years, and yeah, basically that's like Botox. I had it, not much. And I started about 2 years ago that to go into beauty clinics. And another thing is, I personally don't like being touched by strangers.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't like going to facials. And you know, sometimes we were pampered in those massage. Yes, it's super relaxing, but I personally don't like going a plan for those body treatment or facials, because to me it's just a personal thing. I don't like being touched by strangers.
So if you're doing your 7-step program now, are you doing any kind of beauty treatment? Are you using any tools, any devices at home? Because, you know, there's all the microcurrent treatments, there's the LED lights, there's gua sha, there's, you know, a million different things that are now available for at-home use, and they're good.
Gua sha, definitely, because my mom believes in it, and she got me gua sha tools even before gua sha hit Australian market. And I remember she used to do them on my back as well and around my neck, and I used to see this red mark. So she used to do them, and I learned from that. And now we've got jade, we've got quartz, we've got all different ones. I sometimes keep them in the fridge. Actually, I have a lot already kept in the fridge, and some quartz ones actually heat them up, so I use them. I am a huge fan of LED light. So for real, what else? Omnilux. This is
my
a new
favorite
brand.
Yeah, I love it.
And
you do your face and your neck with the Omnilux?
Oh yes,
I do.
I haven't got the neck one.
Yeah,
but I tried the face one, but I got the hand one.
Oh, you got the gloves?
Yeah, I got the gloves.
Oh, I need to get the gloves. I'm getting the neck. I've tried it. I loved it. I'm getting the neck. I think it's on its way. But the face one, I bought the machine. You know, we've had this conversation before. I bought the machine 7 years ago for the house because I was spending so much money going to clinics, and I thought, oh gosh, I have no other vices. I'll buy the machine. And now the mask works as well as the one, you know, that you can have treatment, you can have in a clinic. So I try to do that 3 times a week. But I love that you're doing the hands. I'm going to do that too.
And
do you do microcurrent?
No.
Or any of the rollers, like the new skin or whatever it's called?
Not those ones. I do have the rollers.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do have the rollers, but I only just use them around here sometimes. I like drinking champagne. It's an everyday thing for me, but champagne is a drink. Sometimes you actually overindulge. So I do get puffiness. So the rollers are really good for deep puff.
Yeah,
before the rollers, I used to just to cool the spoons and then use the spoons on my skin. Now, yeah, they actually work better.
And Icy, what about exercise? What's your philosophy on how, you know, your wellness and fitness impacts your longevity, your energy? You look amazing. I mean, I keep saying this to you every time I see you, but there must be something in your lifestyle. You say you like champagne every day, which I applaud, and I like champagne not every day. But tell me, what do you do from a wellness and fitness? Do you have a routine? Do you drink, lemon water? Are you doing any biohacking like infrared saunas or cryotherapy? What do you do for your body and mind?
I'm terrible at sports, so I always lose. So I decided to focus on gym, because that's something you can rely on your own. And believe me or not, I actually do weightlifting, and I'm one of those girls. I'm very focused when I'm lift weights, but I do light weights, but I do more sets. I hate cardio. I can't stand cardio. I can't run. So most of the time I would just spend time in the gym, and I'll do leg day, back day, and upper body. I'll just do those routines and rotate during the week. And because of that, I also drink supplements, but I don't drink a lot of supplements. I do have there's one thing called L-carnitine. That's something I will have when I do exercise. I don't drink protein.
And that's for energy, right? The L-carnitine is like it's a pre-workout booster. Is that the one?
Yes, and it boosts metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
So something I would like to have when I do exercise. And vitamin C water. I love lemon juice with honey. So I think this is really good. And you should use honey stirred with cold water, and then lemon with hot water, and then you mix them together.
What's this hot cold that you were talking about? Because I'm Iranian and we have a similar, we talk about things being hot or cold and the body being either hot or cold. I'm curious to see if it's the same interpretation as what you're talking about. Tell me more about that.
I think it's really similar to cooking. Sometimes the temperature can actually affect the ingredients being like the effectiveness of the raw material and ingredients. Does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. So you really don't need to put honey in the freezer, or you really don't need to mix honey with hot water. The normal temperature, room temperature, is good enough for honey. But for lemon, it's different. If you use hot water, it actually helps with vitamin C, but not too hot. Warm water, and then you mix the warm water and the cold honey water together.
And do you take collagen supplements?
Oh my God, yes. Oh, thanks for it. Yeah, this is something I really want to talk about it, because people ask about collagen drinks, and they always tell me, I don't think collagen drinks works. Well, I had it since I was I think 25, 26, and I never stopped. It was Japanese brand, and it was I got it from Japanese beauty shop. We couldn't find them in Australia. One of the brands was Shiseido's. They were not available in David Jones or Meyer, and Fanco Beauty. So they make supplements. They were like sachets, yeah. And then I bought another. They were like tins, and they cost about $70 per month. And imagine that's like maybe a coffee or just a Coke each day, and it's quite expensive, and actually had placenta as well.
Was it human placenta or animal placenta? Human. Horse. Yes. Yeah. And where were you getting that from?
Also Japanese brand.
And what were you drinking that as a supplement?
So the placenta ones I got was like the shots, and they'd actually taste like juice. So they made them taste really well, and you just have a shot each day.
Because placenta supplementation is huge in Asia, not so much here, obviously. It's and it's considered quite risky to kind of even talk about it. But tell me more about it, because it's definitely, stem cells and that whole conversation about cell regeneration, it's going to catch up to us. And whether, you want to take it or not, I'm really interested to know what it is, why you take it, and what benefit you saw from it.
I still See, I still think they boost the collagen for women. And some of the collagen drinks I had, they were like powders. They also have Q10, different things that will help our body to maintain and boost that collagen level in our skin. But I had it for so many years. If you only have it for one month or 2 months, you're not going to see the difference. It's really like we're having, sometimes we eat meat because they're good for our body, but you can't just have one steak and expect you have that iron level. You have to have a very steady, balanced diet with that. So I had it since that time and never stopped till now. Placenta was because my girlfriends, they were talking about it. They said it's more effective than having collagen drinks. They are more concentrated. So I bought them, and they were more expensive. And as a 20,
did you see a difference? But like, really, did you see a difference? Did you feel a difference? Was it worth it?
I want to be very honest. I didn't see a difference comparing to other collagen drinks I had, because I had some really good brands. But one thing I have to warn women is I do have a cyst around here on my in my breast, or yeah, and I did notice when I was drinking placenta, and this does pop out more. Does that make sense? Like it does change the hormonal hormones. I did realize that. It's like soy milk. My mom and my Chinese medicine doctor did tell me maybe I should avoid that as well, just for the reason. Yeah, it's just that's something you should be aware of. And I think talk to the dermatologist and talk to some Chinese medicine doctors, or talk to some nutrition specialist is very important.
Do you do any body treatments? Have you had fat freezing? Do you have any laser or anything like that? And or the muscle contractions like the M Sculpt or anything? Have you tried any of those treatments?
No,
just the
I
gym.
always believe natural, yes. But I love doing research. Let's say if I want to tone my arm, I will continue to research on what's the latest trend, and have the PTs develop new ways to tone the arms, and then I'll practice. And I'm very active. You've seen me. I always jump up and down. When I walk, I bounce. And
you do.
Ladies would tell me, "Don't run, lady, don't run." The strangers will tell me, because I'm very active. I like to go onto the stairs instead of elevator. I always find ways to keep myself activate. I think that's very important. You don't be lazy. When you're watching Netflix, and just stand up and walk around the home. And another thing is I enjoyed supplements, right? I also have a lot of sprays around home, facial sprays, facial mist. And whenever I see them, I'll just go wild and then leave them around one corner of home. So I have avante. There's the sprays, Clinique rose mist. Clinique has so many mists. See,
they do. The lavender is beautiful, gorgeous. Yes. The rose mist is beautiful. I think they have is it chamomile as well?
Yes, and that's for calming. And there's a citrus one. So the citrus one, I love using it so keep that in the kitchen. So when you're tired, and sometimes you can spray yourself, because in the kitchen your skin goes oilier. And then there is a rose mist that I keep it next to the door. So when I come home, sometimes I spray some, because that actually gives you it makes you happier, that rose scent. It makes you feel feminine. So I love using that. And the violet one, I actually keeps in my bathroom, because that's very nourishing. And so I use different mist in different areas. And the avante one, I have one at the stage at my desk.
You mean the big can?
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah, the water. Yeah, the purified water.
Yeah, I can't remember the full name, but that's very cooling, refreshing.
Yes. So now you and I are both big fans of La Prairie. And I know that you used to have a very hectic routine. Now it's a 7-step routine. And I've had a conversation with you before, like when you were in your 20s, you were using the platinum collection.
I'm
What are you
still using
doing now? You still,
platinum.
yeah,
Yeah.
you still use it.
So so the thing with La Prairie is, okay, the thing with skincare is, for me, is I think that's investment. And I thank myself to invest in beauty when I was younger. And I spent a lot of my income to skincare. Um, I always think if you invest that earlier for more expensive stuff, and later on you don't have to spend so much money to do surgeries and
Would
to
you
try
ever have surgery?
maybe facelift, because I'm still doing a lot of reading a lot of research about it and talking to some colleagues working in this in beauty industry, and I think I'm quite confident, so most of them are safe. And it's just about finding the right doctor and finding the right time,
And when
because
would you do it? Like in your mind, when would be a good time or a good
the
day?
I will always check how long is the recovery period. Yeah, if I don't have that in the 2 weeks time to stay at home, I won't plan for it. Yeah, I think that's a good tip too. In Christmas time,
But would you do it in your 40s? Are you thinking about would you consider doing a facelift as a preventative, or are you more likely to have it when you're later down the track as a cure?
like down, because it's not bothering me.
No, of
For
course.
work, yeah, for
Of course not. You're a
yeah.
baby still.
One for other women, this is my philosophy. So if you look at the mirror and you're unhappy, please do something. But if you look at the mirror and you're happy about your look and you smile, you like that, and that line is not bothering you, then don't make it a big deal. Because there was a lady, she spoke to me. She said wrinkles is the most beautiful gift to women, because it does shows you your age, but at the same time it tells your life stories. And there are some like lines around here shows you liked laughing, you liked smiling, just makes you a kind person. So if you are not like, if wrinkles doesn't bother you,
So
don't.
why do you then, if wrinkles don't bother you, and I agree, I don't think the conversation about being ageless is ever about wrinkles. It's always about a timeless quality in a man or a woman. It's about their energy. It's about how they view themselves in the future, in the present, their past, how they wear their life story. So let's put wrinkles out of the equation. Why do you want to take such good care of yourself? What does it give you other than, making the wrinkles disappear or your pores smaller? What is it about investing in yourself that makes you feel ageless?
It's similar to my life philosophy to myself. It's about try everything you can before any damage can happen. So you're always well prepared. And I think I was really smart when I was at 25. After 25, after I realized, after I met La Prairie at the counter, I know the brand history. I started to know it worked. And I out of all the ingredients I have learned, and I believed in that ingredients. It was I started with caviar, and I alternated with white caviar and skin caviar. And then I was introduced to platinum, and it was like $2,000 for the the whole pack around their Christmas time, and I didn't hesitate and bought the entire pack. That was 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. No, less than 10 years ago. And I think it's like you've tried everything, you've done everything you could, and if things still go wrong, it means destiny. But have you tried enough? Have you exercised enough? Have you had the best diet? if you when you had time, were you just sitting there eating junk food, or you actually make the habit to make some fruits for yourself? And
I do love that about you. You are super conscientious about your wellness. I've been at events with you. You're careful, you're considered, you're not picky, but like you really are healthily minded. Icy, can I ask you something? And this is like a wild, stomping all through cultural boundaries. But I guess as an immigrant, I've been asked silly questions too, so I'll go ahead and ask the question. What do you think is the different approach to agelessness in your Chinese culture versus the Australian culture? And what have you inversely learnt from the Australian culture that you think can be shared with your Chinese heritage? So we start with that. What do you think is different approach to agelessness in your culture?
I don't think agelessness, it's a topic that Asians talk about. They just do it. Don't you realize that? A lot
Oh,
of
yes.
Asians.
I mean, you're always leading the way with innovation, and it's definitely part of, the conversation of culture, to the wellness, the biohacking, the rejuvenation, longevity.
Like the herbs, the Chinese medicine, the Japanese beauty, Korean beauty. There are a lot of things that I think they're already in the Asian girls' DNA, and we we're influenced by our parents generations by generations, and like China's very well developed now, and comparing to 30 years ago, it's super rich right now, and using expensive skincare is not a problem at all. But I think it's very simple. It's to us, using skincares and purchase skincares is just everyday life. But in Australia, I don't see women putting that in their everyday life. And I find a lot of women, they enjoy cooking, they enjoy family time, they have pets, they go out to the beach. But for us, we do considering skincare as part of our everyday must do things, and it's something we have to tick. Like the other day, my friend came to my place and she spent 3 nights with me, and she asked me, I see, why don't you do a facial mask? And she realized I don't do those face masks.
The
And
sheet
actually,
mask.
yeah, because I was using sleeping mask and she didn't know.
Ah.
So, and in her
So just
mind,
explain for anyone who's listening the difference between the sleeping mask and what we're talking about.
yeah, because sleeping mask is something you can use instead of your night moisturizers or on top of your night moisturizers. There are more sleeping masks than before. So I have sleeping mask that does like multi-level exfoliant, and they have retinoids in them. Or
Do
I
you
have
use a silk pillow as well every night?
Oh, yes, I have. So I actually purchased this from one of my Chinese friends. She sells the whole bed set in silk. And the sleep silk pillows, and they're different colors. So I can change with the silk pillows, but then the bed sheets and the quilt covers are all silk. And they actually make my hair smooth as well, not just the face. And if you have a very rich sleeping mask on, they don't absorb it. You don't find they leave a mark to the pillows. I think silk is really good, and it's not as challenging to like. It's quite easy to maintain.
Yeah. Do you know, I love silk pillowcases. I swear by them. Silk eye mask, silk pillowcases. And I even have my daughter who's 11 using it because I want her to have good skin. So I'm going to go back to the other part of the question is, what do you think we do really well here in the Australian culture that you've learned and you'd like to teach your followers who follow you from China? Because you've got a great following here, but you've got a massive following back home. What from the culture of wellness and beauty do you like to teach backwards to to your audience back home?
I think Australian skincare, the trends and the Asian skin trends should balance a bit. I always think Asian girls they do too much, or they worry too much. They worry too much about being aged. But in Australia, it's a bit relaxed. But I love that, and I think we're all women. We have different roles, and we should considering have a good balance and not to emphasize on creams and anti-aging. Like I also learned myself, simplified skincare routines can still work and may even work better for me. So just to relax a bit and don't really don't forget about peer pressure, forget about your neighbors or your best girlfriend, what they are using. Just sit back and think about what works for you, and do you really need everything, and what's missing, what's not missing. I think that's what I really learned from Australia. And another things I also want to talk about, Bahar, is Asians love brighter skin, white skin.
Yeah.
But in Australia, it's all about sun-kissed look, that bronzed look. I did realize late years, sometimes when I use a darker foundation, and you girls will at an event, you will come to me, I see what you've done today. You look glowing. Your skin looks so fantastic. It took me some time to realize actually it's not because my skin goes darker. It's because I looked healthier. Having a very pale foundation sometimes make me, and I'm skinny, so it makes me look like I'm sick. But to have a bit of color on, like sun-kissed, it just shows you're very active, you enjoy the sun, you like going out, you're an outdoor person. It's a good thing. It brings good vibe to people, and it actually makes you a healthier look.
I want to pick up on something that you said then and also a little bit earlier, which I think is really interesting. You were saying, stop worrying about what your neighbor thinks, stop worrying about peer pressure. And also earlier you said that you read a lot of celebrity beauty books. How influenced are you still by what, social media or celebrities are doing versus what experts are telling you to do?
Myself, I am not influenced by anyone, because I since a teenager, I learned that it's always about knowing what I need and find out what I need. But if I look around, my Asian girlfriends, I know they are very influenced. And sometimes I go shopping with them. When we pass by a cosmetic counter, they will just show, oh, that is whoever this actress was using, was like showing in her Weibo, or this was the fragrance whoever was like in the campaign. So they actually really, really listen to the celebrities, and they check whatever they're using. And the reality shows, sometimes they will just, when we watch together, they will just say, I see, can you see it? Like she's using this in her bathroom. Is that working? Things like that. And I can see that big influence.
And what about you? You've got a great social media following, like I was saying, and you create a lot of content for your followers. Are they following what you do? And where do you get your information to share with them so that they follow you as the influencer?
At the beginning, I always want to do something that's very visualized. So make the product stand out. You will see I don't have, it's not every photo is about me. And most of the time I'll actually put the product forward and just to showcase that product. And I want my Instagram to be more like a new launch. You will find out what's new. And I also try to send the message like what this product's about. And recently I also share more about my living philosophy, the readings I've done into the story, to make the post more thoughtful and more about like more soulful. There's more spirit in it. I the reason why I do that is I don't want to impact people's habit. I don't want to change others' habit. I want to inspire them. I want to share with what worked for me, but I understand what works for me not necessarily work for you. I want to give them more options. But at the same time, I would love to share more tips, how to shop more, how to spend less money on better products, and how to avoid buying things that's not suitable. I want to share tips like that, but I don't want to push them to just buy whatever I'm using. I don't think that's right. So that's why.
Do you think that the shopping experience has changed as a result of the pandemic? That, you know, before it was a much more you know, browsing, and it was more of a ritual in store, but we really have transitioned so much to digital. So it's really up to us to do a lot more research and then go to a digital interface for the purchase. Do you think that you've seen that with your friends, with your followers, that they're, you know, doing their research online and then taking that research and then making transactions?
I think people definitely have got more influenced by social media. And
so then what happens to the personalized recommendations? Because exactly as you said, what's good for you may not be good for me. And I certainly always say to my, you know, audience, like, I'm 47. I've tried absolutely everything at different times, in different lifestyles, with different needs. Things have been appropriate, but I really believe in the expert consultation. I really fundamentally believe in what you said, that you need to know yourself and you need to have expert guidance. So I'm interested to see what you think is kind of the future of beauty as we stop having as much of that personal interface.
I still think those interface exist. And I really thank all the cosmetic brands making efforts to make their digital platform very personalized. And you can now talk to specialized, how to say this, specialists, and having online conversations. And
are there any brands you think do this really well that you could direct us to? I think you're right.
Definitely La Prairie is doing, and I think La Prairie is definitely leading that. The price point, of course, and they want to make their customers feeling they are spending for what they got and exist like on their spending. And the online experience also help them to make sure they find the right products. And I think La Prairie is doing that very well, because without that face-to-face experience, is very difficult for you to feel luxury. I think that's some cosmetic brands. I think Lancôme Clinique, they also do customized like color matching. They are also very good for us. Online, was that Saint Laurent YSL Beauty? They have this app. You can actually take a photo of yourself and change lipstick colors. Those are the things that they have tried to help us to get the right things. And I think that's really great. And talk to like Clinique, there's always like online skin test, these kind of things. And different brands have different ways to check out your skin type, your skin concerns. All of these are great initiatives.
What are you excited about in beauty? What kind of tech or research or ingredient are you really excited about?
Everything. Yes, I think one thing we love as Asian girls, Asian born, about what I love about Australia is the Australia skincare brands give us that safety. It's natural, organic, and because we have so many native plants, and so I started to learn more about our ingredients and our native plants, in addition to the Chinese herbs. And you actually, while you're learning this, you're actually enrich your knowledge about not just skincare, about nature, and then you will start to learn other herbs, other leaves and trees, and you fall in love with nature. It does change your like skincare philosophy as well. You appreciate the natural sense, the plants-based skincares. Yeah, you do change a bit. And
I think it's, you know, we were talking about the cultural differences. When I discovered like the real disconnect between my background, which is Iranian, and the Australian beauty philosophy, it was in Iran. It's really important for a woman to be highly groomed. So we get our hair done all the time. You know, we get our nails done. We get nose jobs before we're 18. Are immaculately groomed and dressed, perfumed, but it's all of this, but there's no wellness and fitness culture really that we're taught from a young age. And so for me, when I was about your age, you know, I'm 47, so we're 10 years difference. When I was 37, I had a 1-year-old, and I remember looking in the mirror and just thinking, I can keep all the facade looking good, but I need to have the energy and the vitality of a youthful woman to be a mum to this baby. Because, you know, my mum was 21 when she had me, and I was 36 when I had my daughter. And so she had a completely different energy bank to raise me compared to me. So I really learned, that was the first time in my life that I started learning about longevity from the perspective of fitness, wellness, diet, nutrition, sleep, biohacking, mental agility. You know, after I had my baby, my memory was terrible. So I did some research, and I learned that I needed to eat fatty acids, eggs, avocados, fish oil supplements. And that was really the first time in my life that I didn't just want to work on the outside of what I looked like on the outside. I really knew that to look young, but more importantly, to feel young and vital, I really had to look after the inside. So, and it was actually at that time that I discovered Chinese medicine, because every year I like to go to a wellness retreat, and I met an amazing Chinese doctor in Thailand, and he introduced me to cupping, to herbs, to acupuncture, which I've kept up with. And it was really it was actually the first step I took to understanding what was going on inside, rather than being totally focused on the outside.
yeah, I agree. I think that's that actually goes back to what I was talking from the beginning. But I also want to pick up what you just said there. And I think beauty, it's very important we have our inner beauty. And that inner beauty, it's big support to Ageless. And I don't know how to translate. In the Chinese saying, there's something about the feeling of you looks like you're a teenage girl. And there is a phrase, and it's more like a slang from the so there's a phrase about it, and a lot of people always say Icy gives us that feeling she's like a teenage girl, she's like a young girl, young lady. And I think that's because deep inside I believe I'm not grown up, like I haven't grown up yet. I'm a kid, I'm a baby, and I keep telling myself about it. But to be able to keep telling yourself about it, it's you have to have something down here and down here to support you. How much time have you spent reading? Do you know what's happening in the world? And I am consistently learning, and I recently started to learn French, learn language.
Which is, of course, all biohacking. You're talking about neuroplasticity. You're talking about challenging the mind to develop new pathways, which is all behavior of a young brain.
Yes. And by doing that, you are keeping your mind active, you're keeping your body active. The more important is what you have learned, what you have gained from all of those exercise activities keeps you as a younger person, because those things will last in you. It's like that, a beautiful smile, it will last on you. And that's way better than hide your wrinkles or hide your lines, smiling lines. And I think that it's something that I would encourage people to think.
Well, I think it's great advice. And I know you, as I said, I've known you for over a decade, and you really walk your talk. You are fun. We do sit in the corner and giggle together. You know, you have a joie de vivre that just emanates from you. I'm going to wrap up by asking you, who do you look up to as an ageless muse? You know, you said you don't really copy anyone or follow anyone, but there must be a few people that you look at or you admire who've got that same pixie energy that, you know, forever teenager, or hold themselves in a way that, you know, is vital and youthful and alive.
Definitely my mom. I'm sure a lot of girls have gave you the same answer. And my mom's a very special woman, and she's not like me. She's not as sophisticated as me. But she, as I said, she understands Chinese medicine. She understands diet, nutrition. But she lives in a way that what makes her happy. She understands what makes her happy, and she'll just go and do it. And she's not like me, always check the wardrobe and pick up nice clothes. She would just be like, this is very comfortable, I'll just wear it today. And she's not into designer clothes, designer bags, and whatever is functional, it's easy, she would just throw on herself and then just go and do things. But she's still learning Chinese painting, calligraphy, and she's exercising, and she will go to those competitions. And I think this is me. When I reach her age, I want to be like her. And because she's like that, and I am not afraid of getting old, because I know what I will be like, what I want to be like when I'm old. So she is my muse, and I think she's a good role model. And she also teaches me age is nothing to be feared, like to be worried about. You don't have to be worried about getting old, but focus on something else, and don't worry about age. And I think that's very important. When you stop worrying about getting older or being aged, you will be ageless.
I love it. And you are our ageless muse, Icy Ling, my beautiful friend. It was such a pleasure to have you on the show. As I said, I've been wanting to have you on for such a long time, and we've been wanting to do something in collaboration. So this is such a lovely start. And I want to thank you so much for sharing your philosophy and your ageless hacks. I don't know about the horse placenta. I think that's a hard pass for me, but I like the lemon water. I'm going to try that with Lily. And I really always love your ageless attitude. It's always so radiant and such a pleasure to be around. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for actually giving me some time to rethink about a lot of this connecting to ageless. And I think maybe I will need to wrap up for some of the things I've said and think about something that you have shared with me.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for having me, and hope to see you again. Hope to see you soon.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please share and rate this episode. I'd love that.